Hello, this is the My Artifact episode number 3753. Today's date is December 10, 2025. It's been almost like exactly 10:14 p.m. Alright, let's just jump into the question. Let's go. Alright, the question is, what if invisible force shape your decision? Oh, what is invisible force shape your decision? That's a very deep question, but okay. First of all, what exactly is this question and why am I asking this question to myself? This is what if question. Why am I asking this question to myself? What if question is always really interested way to give the answer. It kind of like force you to think about that reality. When I try to think about that reality, or when I try to create that reality, I'm kind of like utilizing my knowledge and experience that I have. And it kind of like feel really good to kind of utilizing this knowledge and experience. It felt good. Disclaimer, the information that I'm trying to tell you is not exactly right or is not exactly wrong either. It's raw, it's unfiltered, it's just my opinion. So do not believe in any kind of like information that I'm saying, or do not seek for any kind of like information that I'm saying. It's just my opinion, and opinion are subjective. Alright, now regarding about the question says that what if invisible forces shape our decision? Okay, what is exactly invisible forces? Well, I kind of like make some sort of decision which is I don't really have in control. And probably it actually happened with you too, but I'm gonna kind of like explain from my personal experience. When I was in 12th standard, when I was in 10th standard, we have to choose a stream: science, arts, commerce. Okay, what are those streams? Those are streams represent that key where you being, with kind of like a person that you will become. Like if you choose science, then you would become scientist, engineer, doctor. If you choose commerce, then you will kind of like a bank employee, clerk, or things like that. Okay, yeah. If you choose arts, you will become teacher or any kind of like artistic job. Okay, yeah. So this is kind of like simply the stream that we have. Okay, in specifically in India. Okay, yeah. I choose science. Why I chose science? Well, probably is this thing. It's not really that I love science too. Okay, yeah. But in India, okay, yeah. People usually prefer to such a thing that they are proud to say that they are in that particular thing. Like, I don't know how do I supposed to explain. If I'm gonna say that I am from this college, you might not gonna impress. But if I'm gonna say I am from Harvard University, then you will kind of like have attention on me, that you will gonna say, oh, you are from Harvard. Then probably you just kind of like think about that, oh, you are kind of like a bit really educated and things and that. Yeah. And it's actually happened with the rest of the world. It actually happened in here too. Okay, yeah. Same thing happened. Like people actually consider as a science means kind of like a very knowledgeable and things and that. So people might consider as a science should supposed to be good, and commerce and arts are not meant to be kind of like simply you have to do this thing. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing, I have to go to the science. It's not really that. But problem is that everyone chose science and I also chose science. So what exactly is this thing? The decision that I chose comes from such a thing that invisible forces that I didn't really knew it. No, basically is this thing, I knew it. It's not really that I don't want to choose kind of like a science, no. But it's kind of like a little bit of invisible force. If you're not really understanding, I am also kind of like a represent another thing actually happened. It actually happened with you too. Okay, yeah. Have you been to supermarket? Okay, yeah. So when you went to supermarket, when you are kind of like buying some sort of stuff. Okay, yeah, you put the stuff in your cart and you are going to check out. While checkout, there is a kind of like a multiples of baskets over there. In that baskets or in that stall, in that kind of like whatever it is hanger, there is a lot of toffees over there. And unintentionally we buy, or actually I buy that particular, like basically I bought the kind of like a Cadbury which is actually close to the counter. Now who decide to kind of like buy this Cadbury or this toffee or things like that? Yeah, it's kind of like somebody is this thing that a scientific point of perspective that key in the checkout counter we are kind of like a waiting, obviously, because there are a lot of people over there kind of like a checkout and things like that. So during the waiting, why should supposed to be people want to buy something? So that's why they kind of like put some sort of stalls over there so that people might gonna buy those stuff. Okay, and it work most of people actually buy some sort of candies near to the checkout counter and things like that, which is kind of like only a scientific point of perspective that people might gonna buy, and definitely people are gonna buy. Okay, yeah. So the decision is kind of like somebody comes from invisible force. We are not meant to be kind of like somebody wanted to do this thing, but yeah. Now there are multiples of decision. Okay, yeah. And if we are living in particular world where kind of like your decision can be manipulative. Yeah, your decision can manipulate. It actually happened with me too. A couple of days ago, couple of months ago, I was kind of like a somebody. There is a one product came out in front of my social media feed. Uh, Actually in YouTube platform. Okay, yeah, I usually watch YouTube a lot. So in YouTube, there are a couple of YouTubers or a couple of kind of like a influencer are kind of like a suggesting me a product or collagen product. Okay, yeah. Now collagen product is a really good. It kind of like somebody adds protein. It kind of like somebody brighten up your face and things and that and that. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing. Then I watch kind of a couple of videos regarding about that is it actually work or not. And yeah, most of the videos says that it definitely gonna work. So I bought the one product. Okay, yeah. I utilized for a month, didn't really work out. I bought another, utilized for another month, didn't really work out. Third month didn't really work out. Fourth month didn't really work out. I bought like basically I utilized this kind of like something that powder for almost like that product for almost like a 4 5 months, and didn't really add any kind of like something implement. It add. It's not really that it didn't really add. Okay, yeah, it's add. But the problem is that now my skin is kind of like something that keep like I'm not really take care that much well. Okay, yeah, like I don't really apply that many. I just kind of like use face wash and that's it. Nothing really at all. Okay, yeah. So basically, is this thing what I realized that na ki like it's not really that ki the marine collagen and these are non essential. No, those are essential too. But still, is this thing that na ki sometimes I took the decision regarding about the influence. Like it didn't really wanted to be buy this thing, but I bought this thing. But what I'm trying to tell you, sometimes we are kind of like buy some sort of stuff because of our influence. It kind of like a feel really good too, because it kind of like a gives you sense of part of being society, which is also really great. Okay, yeah. Example is this thing that key. Let's just say today, if I gonna buy a TV, which TV should I supposed to be buy? Obviously, LED, LCD, or any kind of like a simply wall mount TV. Na, you will not gonna buy. You will not gonna buy any kind of like a simply the dabba TV. Even if the dabba TV is kind of like a so cheaper that people will not gonna buy. So who took the decision? Who took the decision to kind of like a buy kind of like a LED or LCD TV? Is because of kind of like a some part of the community. Okay, yeah. In the entire community, everyone are kind of like utilizing LED TV. Then obviously you will gonna buy LED TV too. Sometimes our decision are actually based on community because we are social animal. Our development is actually happened through socialism. Okay, yeah. If people are kind of like doing same thing, we are also bound to towards do the same thing too, even if that kind of like a thing is kind of like wrong. But yeah, we could do that thing. Yeah. So this is what it is. Okay, yeah. No one wants to kind of like do something very differently. Example, would you kind of like a somebody take a horse and kind of like a somebody went to grocery by horse? Would you able to do this thing? Obviously not. Why? Because it's not kind of like a somebody. It's like basically everyone kind of like driving a bikes or cars, and you are taking a horse to kind of like buy groceries. Obviously it actually happened in kind of like a somebody maybe 200 years ago, but at this time no one actually utilizing horse for kind of like buy like a go there and there and there. No, it didn't really work out that way. Yeah, so basically is this thing now our decisions sometimes are kind of like based on influence, based on kind of like some the invisible forces, and which is somewhat something right and somewhat something wrong too. Let me also understand that key if you went to too much extreme, then it kind of like somebody very chaos happened. Example, like basically you are kind of like hanging out with such a people who are kind of like buy some sort of heavy expensive stuff. They just say that key people actually buy kind of like a very expensive phone and things and that and that. By the way, you have a phone and your phone is kind of like capable enough to do everything at all, but still will gonna buy kind of like an iPhone. Why? Because influence, because everyone are kind of like utilizing the iPhone. So yeah, why not I use that thing too? So who made that decision? And obviously the iPhone that you bought doesn't really add any kind of like a value, nothing really at all. You just spend even more like 100,000 rupees for that particular phone, doesn't really add any kind of like a value, but still you do this thing because you are wanted to be kind of like a part of the community. And that is, now is it good or not, like you have to be understand that if you can afford that phone, then that is okay. But if you can't really afford and you are kind of like a buying this phone in EMI or things like that, then probably it's not good thing, dude. Definitely not. Okay, so basically, yeah, these are all those things. There are multiples of kind of like some decisions that we took every single day, and which are kind of like simply derived by lot of things, influence or invisible forces and things like that. Now you have to be understand the decision that you took is kind of like exactly right or wrong, or yeah, you have to be verified by yourself. All right. So this is just my opinion regarding about this question. Okay, yeah. I will not gonna talk about more because I'm kind of like really tired. I just wanted to sit and also in very fucking cold are here. So yeah, this is it, and thank you.